Before fire, humanity had nothing. No warmth, no light after dark, no way to cook food, no way to forge metal, no civilization, no future, just cold and darkness and survival. One god looked at humanity living like that and decided it was wrong. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to every human who had ever lived. Zeus found out, and what he did to that god is one of the most brutal punishments in the history of Greek mythology. This is the story of Prometheus. Prometheus was a titan, not one of the titans who fought against Zeus in the Titanomachy. Prometheus had sided with Zeus during that war. He was one of the few titans who understood that the old order was ending and chose the winning side. He was rewarded with a place among the gods. He had access to Olympus. He sat at divine councils. He was trusted by Zeus himself. And he used that trust to do the one thing Zeus had specifically forbidden. Before the theft, Prometheus had done something else, something that explained everything that came after. He and his brother, Prometheus, had been given the task of populating the earth with living creatures. Prometheus went first. He gave the animals all the gifts: speed to the cheetah, strength to the lion, armor to the turtle, wings to the eagle. By the time he reached humanity, he had nothing left to give. So Prometheus stepped in. He shaped humanity from clay. He gave them the upright form. He gave them intelligence. He gave them everything his brother had run out of gifts to give. And then he looked at what he had made. These creatures he had shaped with his own hands, shivering in the darkness, with nothing to warm them. And he went to Olympus, and he took the one thing that would change everything. He took a hollow fennel stalk. He approached the eternal divine flame that burned at the heart of Olympus and lit the fennel stalk from it. Then he carried it down from Olympus to the world below and gave it to humanity. Not to one person, not to one tribe, to everyone. He taught them how to use it, how to keep it alive, how to pass it from one torch to the next so it would never go out. The humans Prometheus had shaped from clay sat around fires for the first time in history. They cooked food, they forged metal, they built cities, they pushed back the darkness. Then Prometheus went back to Olympus, and Zeus discovered what he had done. Zeus punished Prometheus for giving fire to humans. Prometheus had not just stolen fire, he had looked at Zeus's explicit decision and overridden it. In Zeus's court, that was treason, and Zeus's punishment for treason was specific and personal and designed to last forever. But Zeus was not finished. He had two punishments in mind, one for Prometheus, one for humanity. Zeus had Prometheus seized and carried to the Caucasus Mountains, the most remote and desolate place in existence, and chained to a rock face. Divine chains forged by Hephaestus at Zeus's command, unbreakable. The chains bound his wrists and ankles to the rock. He could not move, he could not escape, he could not die because he was immortal. He simply hung there on the rock face at the edge of the world. And then Zeus sent the eagle. Every day at dawn, an enormous eagle descended from the sky and ate his liver. Slowly, completely. The liver of an immortal regenerates overnight. Every morning it was whole again. Every morning the eagle came back, day after day for eternity. Zeus's second punishment was for humanity itself. He went to Hephaestus and ordered him to create something that had never existed before. A woman, the first woman ever made, not born, crafted. Hephaestus made her from clay and water and gave her a face of extraordinary beauty. The gods each gave her a gift. Aphrodite gave her beauty. Hermes gave her curiosity. Athena gave her skill. Zeus gave her a sealed jar and one instruction: never open it. Her name was Pandora. Zeus sent her to Prometheus, Prometheus's brother, as a gift. Prometheus had warned his brother never to accept gifts from Zeus. Prometheus accepted anyway. Pandora lived in Prometheus's house with the sealed jar, and her curiosity grew. Every day she looked at the jar. Every day she wondered, and one day she opened it. Every evil that has ever existed in the world poured out simultaneously. Disease, sickness, suffering, misery, death, all of it released into the human world in a single moment. Pandora slammed the jar shut. One thing remained inside, trapped at the very bottom: hope, the only thing that kept humanity going after everything else escaped. While Prometheus hung on the rock, he carried a secret, a prophecy. He knew which of Zeus's sons would one day overthrow him, the same way Zeus had overthrown Cronus, and Cronus had overthrown Uranus. The cycle that had already happened twice was going to happen again, and Prometheus knew exactly how and when and by whom. Zeus knew that Prometheus knew. He sent messengers to the rock. He offered freedom in exchange for the secret. Prometheus refused, year after year, decade after decade, century after century. After thousands of years, Heracles, also known as Hercules, came. Traveling through the Caucasus on one of his labors, he heard the eagle descending at dawn and looked up and saw Prometheus chained to the rock face. He drew his bow. He shot the eagle out of the sky as it descended. He climbed to the rock face. He broke the chains. He freed Prometheus. Zeus allowed it. Hercules was his son, and the freeing served his purposes, and enough time had passed. This is Greek mythology. There are 100 more stories just like this. Stories of gods and creatures.